Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is a kind of different video than what I've been doing lately. So today, guys, what I am going to be doing, I'm going to be giving you my championship young team of the season. So of course it was quite precedented who got into the championship team of the year this season, and it was quite an interesting team nevertheless. But what I thought I'd do for you guys today is I bring you my team for who I think has been the best young team of the season. So for this team, I decided to include players who at the start of the season were either 23 or under. So there were all the players who were eligible to get into this team, and I've got to say there was a lot of competition for places to get into this team because we have had just an abundance of young talent come through in the championship this season. So it's going to be a really close one between who gets into the squad. But what I'd love to know from you guys is who do you think should get into the championship young team of the season, and as well as that, who has been your club's best youngster this season? I'd be very interested to know. Of course, all the end of year awards and all that with individual clubs are going on at the moment. So do you agree with who got your club's young player of the season? Let me know down below. Also as well, I've decided to not include players like Jamal Lascelles, who of course is under the age of 23, but he himself did get into the actual championship team of the season. So I've decided not to include players who got into the actual team of the season because, I don't know, I feel like they've already been recognised for what they've done this season. So for this team, guys, I decided to go for sort of like a 4-3-3 formation to fit all the players that I wanted to get into this team. I do of course have a bench as well of players which I'm going to be fitting in, but going over the starting 11, coming in between the sticks, I'm going to go ahead and put in Daniel Bentley. I think he's been a fantastic keeper this season for Brentford. Of course, he came in from them from Southend at the start of the season, and I'd say this is a keeper with an absolute abundance of potential. I really am looking forward to seeing more of Daniel Bentley in the years to come, and I think that Brentford's the right club for him. You know, Brentford recently seem to be really going towards youth in terms of the signings that they've been going for, and they seem to be going in the right direction. I think he's at the right club at the moment, and some of the saves he's pulled off this season have been absolutely terrific. Of course, at times he might have been a bit inconsistent, but overall I think he's been a great keeper this year. And then coming in at right back, guys, I'm going to go for DeAndre Yedlin of Newcastle United. I think that Yedlin has had a terrific year for Newcastle. Of course, Newcastle recently securing their place in the Premier League for next season. I think that in terms of players who Newcastle will be able to transition from going from Championship football back into the Premier League, I, in my opinion, do think that Yedlin is going to be one of those players. I think he is good enough to play in the Premier League, and I think that the partnership that Yedlin has been able to form this season with Matt Ritchie going down the right hand side with Yedlin making runs overlapping him has been absolutely terrific this season. And of course, Newcastle do have one of the best defences in the Championship. So for that reason, Yedlin is going to be coming in at right back. And then coming in to our centre back spot, guys, the first centre back coming in to the squad is going to be Liam Moore of Reading FC. So it may be a little bit of a surprise actually that I'm going to include a Reading defender in this list, as we've seen Reading be hit for a lot of goals in some certain matches. You know, Norwich 7-0 does spring to mind, but in some of the games where Reading haven't had the best defensive duty, Liam Moore has actually been missing for some of those games, and I actually think that in terms of an influential player, Liam Moore's probably been one of Reading's best players this season. You know, I think he's been right up there. He was in contention, in my opinion, to go ahead and win their player of the season. Let me know what you think of that, Reading fans, down below. But overall, I think he's been an excellent signing and very comfortable on the ball, which is of course crucial for Yapstan's style of play. And then coming in next to him, I'm going to go ahead and include Adam Webster from Ipswich Town. Now this guy has been incredibly unfortunate this season. Of course, he was actually injured in January, which then put him out for the entirety of the season, and there were quite a few other centre-backs which I could have included in this spot, and I'm sure you guys are going to let me know about them in the comments down below. You know, like Callas from Fulham, he springs to mind, but the reason I decided to favour Adam Webster over someone like Callas is because, of course, Callas is a loan into the Championship, so I thought I'd want to include Webster as well, because I think going forward for Ipswich, this guy could be absolute dynamite for them. Next season, when he is fully fit, if they do manage to keep hold of him, I think he could be an excellent defender. I think he's good on the ball, good in the air, and he's got everything really that a centre-back needs to be. And I think in the future, he definitely has potential to play in the Premier League. And then coming in at left-back, guys, it could only be one player. Coming in at left-back, it is of course Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham. I mean, this guy is just an absolute joke. At 16 years old, he's been able to burst onto the scene from Fulham, score as many goals as he has done, and been as solid as he has, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm older than this guy, which is just baffling to think of, considering how many games he's already played in the Championship, how many goals he's managed to bag as well. This guy is so diverse in terms of the positions he takes up when playing football, and you know, whether he's playing left back a little bit further up the field maybe, but honestly this guy has got such a great future ahead of him, and he's had a terrific season. And then guys, I then have 3 centre mids coming into the squad. So coming in as our first centre mid, I'm going to go for Ronaldo Vieira, and this guy for Leeds United has had a terrific season. Of course, it has been quite precedented, of course, Leeds bottling promotion this season. Of course, they're in the playoffs for so long and they managed to drop out of it, but I don't think any blame can be held on this guy Vieira. He has been absolutely terrific. I mean, with a name like Ronaldo Vieira, he's going to have to be a pretty good footballer, but I think we can all agree this guy has been sensational for Leeds this season. Definitely got a huge future ahead of him, and as well as that, he actually did win Leeds United's Young Player of the Season award, which, you know, is no easy feat to do considering some of the other players Leeds have got at the club, and some of the young talent Leeds have been able to get through their academy recently and get through the club recently has been fantastic. This guy could really be going places for them. And then for our next centre mid, guys, I am going to go ahead and drop in Isaac Hayden from Newcastle United, and in my opinion, Hayden has been maybe a little bit of an unsung hero for Newcastle really. Of course, this season for Newcastle, we've seen the main plaudits for them go to the players like Dwight Gale, John Joe Shelvey, Matt Ritchie, but I honestly do think that Isaac Hayden has played such an influential role for them, which has gone a little bit unnoticed for Newcastle this season, and is perhaps a little bit of an underrated player overall. But for this guy to be doing the things he's doing at Newcastle at the age he is absolutely fantastic. I think he was let go of the Arsenal Academy, Newcastle managed to snap him up, and going forward I think this guy definitely has the potential to be playing in the Premier League. And then coming in as our final centre mid, guys, I'm going to include him because I just absolutely love this guy, and it's not just me being a biased Preston fan, but Ben Pearson has had one hell of a season for Preston in my opinion. Of course, we signed him in the January transfer window, not the last one, the one before that, and this season we've just really been able to see the best out of him. I mean, this guy is honestly like the white N'Golo Kante. He's just absolutely everywhere on the football field, intercepting play, breaking things up and getting Preston going on the counter-attack. He shows so much passion for the club as well. At the age he's doing this all at is absolutely phenomenal, and I think that if Ben Pearson continues to progress his potential in the way he's currently going, he could be an absolute star for Preston, or anyone else for that matter, in the near future. And honestly, I think he's got such a bright future ahead of him. The only thing that lets him down a little bit is he has been suspended for a lot of games this season. I mean, I think he's accumulated 15 yellow cards this season, which isn't brilliant, but I suppose that goes with his style of play. Ben Pearson's been class. And then guys, for my forward 3, coming in first of all to our forward 3, I'm going to go ahead and include Tom Lawrence. Of course, this guy for Ipswich Town has just been on another level. He's been ridiculous for Ipswich this season, and I think it is quite a fair assumption really that Ipswich could actually be going down to League One if it wasn't for this guy, and for this guy to be playing Championship football and for having pretty much a whole club on his back for the majority of it, and to be guiding them to score some of the goals that he's actually got this season has been absolutely sublime. I mean, I remember when I was watching him at Deepdale, this guy scored an absolute scream and managed to cut inside and bend it into the top corner, and he's got a massive future ahead of him. He has been an insanely good player for Ipswich. And then coming in at right wing, guys, I'm going to go ahead and include Helder Costa into my team. And once again, I think this guy has been absolutely sublime in what has been a very disappointing season for Wolves, in my opinion. I think this guy's been excellent for them. Helder Costa, whether Wolves are going to be able to keep hold of him for much longer, that's of course yet to be seen, because I do think that this guy has the potential to be going on and playing in the Premier League not too long from now. I honestly do think that from some of the clips I've seen from him this season and some of the games I've seen him play this season, he has been on another level. I mean, some of the goals he scored have been absolutely sublime. I mean, the one that springs to mind straight away is the one he scored against QPR, where he sort of mugged off 3 or 4 defenders and then powered it into the bottom corner. He's just an excellent player, and what a player for Wolves he's been this season. And coming in at striker, guys, it could only be one player. It is, of course, Tammy Abraham, who has just been he's been ridiculous. Let's just face it, he has been ridiculous, and probably the most unfortunate player actually not to get into the championship team of the season. I know a lot of you guys were actually expecting Tammy Abraham to go ahead and make it into the championship team of the season. In the end, he didn't make it thanks to performances from Glenn Murray and Dwight Gale, but this guy has been ridiculous, and there's no way I can make this young championship team of the season without including Tammy Abraham in it. I mean, this guy is 19 years old, and overall he's managed to score 26 goals this season, which is just crazy good. So now guys, on screen you can see my full championship young team of the season. So let me know in the comments down below if you do agree or disagree with some of my picks. Of course, I had to leave quite a few players out who I really did want to include in this list. It's just the competition for places was just so fierce. I've also included a bit of a bench down there. As you can see, I've got players on there like Jacob Murphy, Callum Robinson, Izzy Brown, John Swift, Ryan Kent, Che Adams and Ben Brereton. Ben Brereton definitely unlucky not to make it into this team. I think for Nottingham Forest, he's got one hell of a future, and a couple of other players as well. Players like Lucas Pearson, Thomas Callas could have made it into the list. We've got an absolute catalogue of them, but overall guys, that is going to be my championship young team of the season. Let me know what you think of it down below and give me your picks down below. I'd be very interested to know. But apart from that guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you check out all the other links in the description down below. Make sure you subscribe for regular championship content, and I'll see you all in the next one.